Hi, I'm Sonya Dove and I'm here at the Wella studio in Los Angeles, and hi to everyone from Cosmoprof. I am so excited to be doing this. This is my first Facebook Live for Cosmoprof and I've got lots of good things in store for you. So I'm going to share a little bit with you about our new collection, our Touch of Cool collection from Koleston Perfect, our permanent hair color line. And both the models I have for you today, I've used them, the colors on their hair previously, so they're all fully finished. And I'm going to share with you the placement, the idea, and the thought process behind it. But first of all, first things first. Consultation. I'm a big one for consultation. In my salon in Santa Monica, I really spend a lot of time on consultation. But sometimes it can be quite challenging, especially if you've got a very busy schedule and your next client's in. But believe it or not, that consultation can make or break the service. So even if I have clients in my salon that come in very often, that I think, oh, I know what they like, don't always assume that, because it could be that they're in a different place in their life and they want something completely different. So consultation is very important. So let's look at the before picture of Cheryl. Oh, I know, I had to do it. So there she is. So Cheryl's hair, as you can see, her own hair is naturally very coarse. It's quite wiry and has a little bit of a frizzy texture. We all know as the hair goes grey, it does start to change dramatically. And this is something that our clients really sort of get a little bit hung up on. And we as hairdressers and as stylists really need to educate them on why and what they can use and what they can take home to really help that. So I was explaining to Cheryl in her before picture that with her hair colour, it's all one colour. She's got gorgeous skin tone and most of all for me, beautiful eye colour. And I felt that it being all solidly white, it was washing her out. So I suggested in going in with some deeper shades from our Cool collection from Koleston Perfect and just adding some deeper tones. Now, one thing that I find a lot of our clients say is, oh, are they going to go brassy or yellow or sort of reddish after a while, which sometimes in the past, those colours, if you go in with a darker brown, it can do that. Not with our colour from Wella, the Cool collection. The colours are very cool, and when they actually do soften up, they still stay at that cool tone. So let's look at how we did this. So I took her whole head and I started in the back area, and I'm going to section her hair off for you so you can see the colours that we have here. Let me just put my sectioning clip in. It was done on dry hair. I used two of my new shades from Koleston Perfect. I used the level 7 7/18. So 7/18 is a level 7 ash pearl. So it's a level 7, firstly the ash, then the pearl. And if I turn her around, you can see, let's see if we can pick this up on the camera. There, you can see these lovely shades in there. As I lift up the hair, let me move that up and down. See there? That's that beautiful deeper colour, that cool tone. I would describe it a little bit like an anthracite or a slate grey. It's got the depth of a 7, but it's really got the naturalness of a grey in there. So I went in, starting at the very bottom, and I went in with a very heavy weave, just weaving it and placing my 7/18 in foils, starting on the right, then moving to the left and working up all the way up to the occipital bone. I started off in the bottom here, and as I separate the hair, you'll see this even more. The heaviest weave was at the bottom. Let's pin that up. Here, you can really see that lovely depth. I think that is beautiful.
Yeah, wonderful.
Oh, I know. I think it's the first time Cheryl's seen the back of her hair. Yes, right. It is. So that's what's going on at the back of your hair there. Thanks. She's a darling. She really is. So on the back here, I started off with a very heavy weave. You can see the pieces there. That is the 7/1/8. It was mixed with 10 volume, equal parts, and placed in a foil. So heavy weave first, and then working up and up to the occipital bone, my weave got less and less. So it became more of a medium weave here. Then I changed to my second colour up above that area. So let's section that off so you can see. And you'll see here the tone starts to change. The tone here is a little bit different. The reason is I finished my 7/1/8 here, and then I went in with my second colour. The weave is now more of a medium weave, and the colour I used is 9/8/1. So it's level 9 pearl ash, also mixed with 10 volume. So we've got a 7 in the nape area up to the occipital, and then from the occipital up to the top crown, a weave of a level 9, because really we always want to go lighter as we're going forward. And there you can see the colour in her hair there, those tones. Very, very natural, very, very soft, still extremely cool, no warmth whatsoever, an excellent complementary colour to her natural white hair. So I worked all the way up.
And it's not blue.
No, it's not blue. Now, what was interesting, Cheryl, I'm really glad you reminded me of that, because it was like our conversation earlier. When I was explaining to Cheryl about having cooler tones put in her hair, she was asking me my version of what I thought cool was. So we really have to explain to our clients, cool, it's not purple, it's not violet, it's not grey, or it's not blue. It's a really natural cool colour. And the way I explained it to Cheryl was, before her hair started to go more white all over, she probably had a lot of what we call salt and pepper for clients. It's actually the tones that create the pepper. This is adding more pepper in so she doesn't look so washed out. So that is the terminology and the way I would speak to someone like Cheryl, but obviously to our hairdressing audience and our family out there, it would be in levels, a level 7 and a level 9. But actually we're adding more pepper back in her hair to give her that dimension. So working all the way up, I worked to the top crown here, and I finished by taking out a whole U-shaped section on the very, very top crown. And the U-shaped section went from the temple all the way around the top here, back to the other side, repeating just the U-shaped section. So I'll pin that up so you can see my U-shaped section. I stopped putting in my level 9 as soon as I reached this U-shaped section. So let's hold that up. You can see here. So if I turn Cheryl around, you can see all the depth on that underneath, all the way round to the other side. Or this top section here, I didn't go in with any of my weaving. What I did do on this top section, while my foils were in, all the way up from one side to the other, this whole top section, I used the 9/8/1, and I used it with Pastel Toner Developer, 2 parts of Pastel Toner Developer. So for any of you non-Wella users, what that was is I used the same colour, but I did 2 parts of Developer, so it didn't go as dark. So what it actually did, it toned her own hair here. You can see this lovely tone. It cleaned it up, but it didn't make it as dark as the underneath. So 2 parts Developer to 1 part colour gives us a more sheerer look. It toned down any gold that she had in it naturally, because people that have got white hair, and I don't know if you've experienced
yellow.
this, it can go yellow, can't
absolutely.
it? I know, it really can. And that is just general wear and tear.
Diet.
So that diet, oh, bad diet, oh, now we're talking. Oh, I'm all into diet, I'm all into diet. No, but you're right. And it does get that sort of yellowy tone. So I wanted to clean that out, which it did beautifully. And it really gave it a lot of shine. And I'm very thrilled with the results. And I did ask Cheryl if I could speak a little bit about shape of face, because when I colour my clients' hair, I always like to tell them the reasons why I'm putting colour where I'm putting colour. So Cheryl's hair is extremely thick. As you saw in her before picture, it's very wavy. So I wanted to give her a more slimmer look in through here and have that slimmer, but then wanted to be able to lift her hair up through here with colour. So as we all know as hairdressers, deeper shades bring in, and then lighter shades bring out. So that's exactly how I explained it. Colour contouring her colour for Cheryl for the shape of her face and also the haircut. So we then went in and blow dried her hair. We used our Elements shampoo and conditioner, and then one of my favourite products, and we were having this conversation about oils. She loves it already. In fact, she said, can I take some home? And we said, yes, we're going to let her. But I have to show you our oil reflectives, our oil reflection light oils. So this is new, and so it's the light version. Now, I know I said to you earlier that her hair is coarse and thick, and we do have a heavier version, but Cheryl told me that she finds that a lot of them are too heavy. So we went in with our Oil Reflections Light, put it in through her damp hair and blow dried it, and it gave her this lovely luster. It really did. And it doesn't feel weighed down.
Waxy.
Ah, waxy. Is that how a lot of them?
Argan oil, I use pure argan oil, is about the only thing that keeps my hair down. But
right.
It just makes it waxy, and this doesn't. It's amazing.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's great. Great feedback, honest feedback from our client. I love it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my GHD tools, and I want to really give her a blow dry that will stay. So I was explaining to her that I feel for the shape of Cheryl's face, she needs a little bit more volume just on the curve of the head, but not too much volume here. We want something narrower. So I'm going to go in with my Oil Reflections Light, little small pump. This is how much you only need to use, especially if on the dry hair, it will, on your dry hair, and put it all the way through your hands, and then work it through. Now, when you work it through, with your hair being naturally on the drier side, you can put it towards the top. This is something that I would only recommend on drier hair. If you've got someone with finer hair, like myself, I never usually put any of my Oil Reflections Light on the top. I just do it on the ends. Work it through. And then now what we're going to do, we're going to do two things. God, your hair soaks it up. It really does. No, it does. Brilliant. So I'm going to be using my new wave wand from GHD. Look, I don't know if you can catch that on camera, the shape of it. It's actually oval. It's fantastic. I love it. It's great for so many purposes. I use it a lot in the salon for doing that beachy, wavy hair. It can be used on shorter hair. But in the case of Cheryl's hair, the way we used to add volume in this area on the round of the head years ago was by a little bit of backcombing or teasing, as we say in England. Then there was the idea of crimping the roots to give volume, but really her hair, it would be too much to crimp the root area here underneath of Cheryl's. So very easy. I was just showing her earlier what I'm going to be doing, giving her a little bit of a lesson myself. And I'm putting in my wave wand, and what I'm doing is I'm bending her hair. I'm pulling it firm with my fingers. It's already had the oil reflections on, and I'm curving it and bending it, really to put it in a false body in through that area. And I'm going to work all the way around in small sections, but I'm only just doing it on the top hair. This is not needed on the underneath. So putting the wave wand in, using that curve and just bending it. Now, while it's at this stage, I like to leave it a second or so to let it cool down, and then when I let it drop, I don't pull it down as it's dropping because it's still in this heat stage at the moment. If I pull it down, it's going to pull that body out. I just lift it and let it lift up and work all the way around. Top section again.
So shiny.
I know it is. Actually, you can really see the colour back here, Cheryl. Really, it's going to be great. And also, while we're talking to our clients, I was explaining to Cheryl, she's got, because of her hair being so thick, that what would be good is at some point to have more layers in it, and layers would give her this as well. But she's really enjoying wearing it more of a longer layer at the moment, because normally she does have shorter layers. So we thought what we would do is we would create a look for her with her longer layers. So here, lifting it up, using that iron, curving it, tilting it.
Can I take that on too?
Oh, now you're asking for no. I'm sure we can arrange that. Let go of that, and then just let it just drop gently. Let it cool down. Little bit more of my oil.
Miracle juice.
Miracle juice. That's right. That's right. It's fantastic though. You know, when we have our clients in front of us, they can see in front of their eyes a difference, and they know. Usually a lot of clients have tried many different products, so it's always good to tell them when you're using something and always the reasons why. Why is just as important as anything else. There's nothing worse than talking to a client in the salon and saying they need something, but they don't know why they need it. So just beveling that up. Let that cool down.
How could I not know that I need this?
Exactly. No. And you know, also with this is for another different look, what you can do is you can actually curl your hair with this and get more of a piecey look so that the ends are straighter. So more of a curl, because this can be used to create curls. And a lot of the looks that we're seeing on social media and we're seeing in magazines where the hair's wavy and straighter ends, this is an amazing tool for doing that. Very, very easy. I'm sure I was showing you some pictures earlier, wasn't I, of those wavy looks? That's the tool that will get it. So leaving that to cool down, I'm then going to come round and fine tune the ends, and I'm going to go in with my curling iron. This is my 1 inch, and because of Cheryl's hair texture, I want to just smooth these ends. I'm just going to go in. Now, what I like about this is you can use the clip and bend it slightly, but I always like to keep the wand open and tilt it and curve it, hold it in like that, and then let go.
Then you don't get that line.
You don't get that line. Well, actually, you don't. Yes, that crease is really, really quite horrible. And no, you're right. It is really quite horrible. But with the GHD iron, the actual clamp, when it clamps down, doesn't create that crease. But you're absolutely right, Cheryl. You're talking about most of the curling irons on the market. When you do close that end, you get a dreadful line. I know my hair's baby fine, and anytime I try and close a clamp, it shows that line dreadfully. So you can, in this case, close the iron and you won't get a line. See, there's no line in there. Or you can tilt it and rock it forward and back. Either way. So just bring that through. I just want to bevel those ends, because what we're going to do in a minute is just put some product through. And I want to expose some of this lovely colour. Oh, that's a nice section where we can see the colours there. See that lovely deeper anthracite. That's really, your hair, Cheryl, at one stage was probably had quite a bit of dark in it,
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Well, we've made it back in the day today. See, look at those lovely tones. Seeing through there? It's great. And then another, what I always like to do with my clients as well is always make suggestions for the future. So Cheryl, I'm just talking to you as if I would a client in the salon. What might be an idea, as it gets more to the fall and more to winter, what you could do, now you've tried the colours, the new touch of colour, these two colours, you could actually go more solid underneath. And you wouldn't have to have it weaved. You could go really solid and it'll look amazing. You see the depth that you have underneath there? That's something you could have more, especially if you have it more layered.
I like the way it moves.
It's a little bit of the curling iron on the end, just to bevel it in. And as we all know, any hairdressers that are out there watching me using the curling iron or any hot tool on someone's hair, we know that sometimes the hot tools can take out colour. Not with GHD, they're all at 360 degrees and they are made so that they do not compromise colour. And me being, yeah, they are. They don't compromise the colour at all. So a little bit of a bend here. Okay. So let's see. Let's just run fingers through it. Oh, you've got gorgeous hair. I think you're ready for a night out on the town, my dear. There. So let's look. Let's look at, yeah, that's better. So you can see the peekaboo in through here, those tones. That's the shadowing, that's the colour contouring using our Koleston Perfect touch of cool shades, and then just keeping her nice and light because we don't really want to darken that top area there because we don't want to create a root area. So you are all finished. I think the last thing I need to do a little bit of our IME Stay Essential. Make sure that it's going to stay off your face there. And I think you are good to go, my darling.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
There. Let's look at it all the way around so you can see. There. Gorgeous. Thank you. Thanks for your feedback. I learned just as much as a hairdresser from my clients, so thank you for that feedback. And so I'm going to bring on our other model. We have another young lady called Stefanie. So thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Great. So Stefanie. Thank you. Yeah. Another blonde there. So this is Stefanie. So Stefanie is my model. Actually, I've known Stefanie for a little while. She's modelling for us here today, but I've actually used Stefanie quite a few times. A little bit of background on Stefanie, if you don't mind me sharing a bit about you. She's a gorgeous young lady. She's so open to colour. Stefanie has her hair coloured a lot. I've seen her many, many different colours, and she just loves having her hair coloured. She's a very busy lady. She's mum to a 3-year-old, so she doesn't have a lot of time, but she still likes to look current and up to date. Her hair is fine. Her hair is very fine. She's a natural level 7. In fact, we have a before picture that we might be able, there we are. There's not a lot of natural colour shown there because that's with her roots already being lightened. But you can see with Stefanie's eyebrow colour, it is darker. It is a natural level 7, and we went in using our Blondor cream and 20 volume at the new growth just to lighten her new growth out because she had about ½ an inch new growth that she came in with today. So. And in her consultation, I was chatting to her, and she still enjoys being a blonde, but I wanted to create some cooler shades in there. She's got lovely, lovely skin tone, and I felt 2 of the shades that I wanted to use from our Touch of Cool are 2 of our newer shades. It is one of my favourites, 10 stroke 9-5. So for the people out there, that's a level 10. 9 is cendré, and 5 is red violet. So if you imagine what would red violet look like at a level 10, it's the lightest soft pastel pink. Beautiful colour, well, absolutely one of my favourites. And another colour I used was 10 stroke 8-6, a level 10, because you see we're really up at a light level here, so I don't want to go down any darker than a 10, not like Cheryl's. And this one was 10 stroke 8-6, and 10 stroke 8-6 is a level 10. It's soft violet pearl, like 8 is pearl, and then 6 is violet. So it's like a pearl violet, pearl being first, secondary violet. They were 2 of the shades I used in her hair, but I also used a third one, and that was from our Illumina range. Illumina is our permanent hair colour range, different to Koleston Perfect, and I used a level 10, just 10 natural. It's called 10 stroke. So the technique, the way we did this was I went in and I started in the back area, and if I separate, let's get some separation here. You can see it here. Actually, Stefanie, pop your head back, my lovely. There. See here on the camera, you can see that very, very soft, pale pink. If I lift up the hair, you can see it there, just at the root area. So I went in and I applied the 10 stroke 9-5 on her roots, her new growth all over, just like a natural root retouch. You can see it in there as well. So went in, I did it for about an inch out because I wanted quite a heavy root in there, and that was applied all over. Once it was applied all over just at the roots, I then divided 2 sections off. I separated the front into a triangle. And I'm going to clip that out of the way so you can see my triangular shape. I actually just isolated her fringe. So pinning that back, that's on one side. This is while her root colour was on, and I applied the 10 stroke 9-5 to this whole section of the front. So this was completely covered in colour. So all this was completely covered, and she had her roots on. Then on all of the rest of the hair, I had my 3 colours in my bowl. So I had my 10 stroke 8-6, I had my 10 stroke, and I had my 10 stroke 9-5. These are both from our Touch of Cool collection, so 3 separate bowls. And I randomly just took 1-inch sections all the way over her head, and took sections just with my finger and applied from the root out 1 colour, then I twisted it, then I applied another colour, just very big sections. This is not a very time-consuming technique. It's very quick, and the more organic you are with just picking up the section, the better it is. Sometimes I feel if it's too rigid in the sectioning, it will look rigid in the end result. So I just picked up her hair and applied it from the root area out, then my next colour, twisted it, then another section, applied it, twisted it, all the way through. So she basically just had the colours all developing all at the same time, just like that. That's how the sectioning was. So you can see here, if I separate it, the beautiful different tones that are. Let's pick this up. See these, the cooler tones in there. Now, Stefanie likes to have something that she changes a lot. And so you see that really lovely, this is the 10 stroke 8-6. Beautiful, soft, cool tone. Little bit on the violet side, but in a beautiful, soft way. Then we've got our very light blonde next to it, as you can see there. So a different tone on the light blonde. So we've got our light blonde, our violet, and then also in here, pieces of our pale pink. So what this does is, because all of the new growth was coloured with the same colour, it has a very natural look to it. Then what she's able to do is move the hair around and really see those tones. But before we do that, I'd like to flat iron her hair a little bit because we've only blow dried it. And I'm going to be using my GHD. Now, Stefanie's hair is pretty much straightish except for certain parts. And what I want to do is I want to really smooth this more and get it a little bit flatter. At the moment, it's got too much of a bevel on for me. So I'm going to take the sections of her hair, turn around. Oh, there you can see the tones. That's a nice shot. See there? That's what it looks like, Stefanie. No. There. Sometimes it's nice to have a camera so you can see that. So just taking my flat iron, I'm taking diagonal sections, going in and gently, this is the Platinum flat iron from GHD, just pulling the hair down and just smoothing that out and really exposing a lot of these colours. Actually, I just saw from my eye here, I hope you can see that for any of you that have just joined in. That's a very good section to show the 3 shades. That's our very pale pink, level 10. Pale pink, there's our beautiful soft cool tone, and there's our blonde. So that segment, you can see those lovely tones there. We didn't want to go for anything too strong. Stefanie's had strong colours in the past. She's had many, many different colours, but I think what we're seeing on trend for winter is definitely a lot more cooler tones, softer tones, more pastel. Pulling that flat iron through, making sure. Now the GHD does not have a strong clamping when you close it. That's what I love about the platinum. I don't know if the camera can pick up that, but when you close the 2 plates together, they're not really, really tightly together. Yeah, I think you can see that. So when you work with it, what I love is that you can really put the flat iron in and you will not get any line whatsoever in the hair. So I'm just going to move around here to the back because she does have, see, waves in it that we want to just try and get rid of those.
Sonya, we have a question for you.
Oh, we have a question. Oh, yes. Fire away, my darling. Yep.
Can you tell us which volume developer you used with your Touch of Cool shades on your level 10s on Stefanie's hair?
Yes, absolutely. So on the Touch of Cool shades on Stefanie's hair, the developers I used Pastel Toner Developer. The reason is Pastel Toner Developer is it reduces the ammonia content down by 70%, sorry. But for anyone that doesn't know Pastel Toner Developer, basically it's a 6 volume. But I did 1 part colour to 2 parts of the Pastel Toner Developer. So 2 parts of 6 volume to 1 part of colour in there. And the same with the Illumina. Now, the other reason I like to use Pastel Toner Developer because really we're working on lightened hair. In England we say bleached hair, in the United States it's lightened, but when the hair's been lightened, you don't really need to use a high developer at all. We always, key priority of any hair service is the hair condition. So always think of hair condition first. So I'm just going round on sections. Now I haven't used the oil reflections light oil on Stefanie's. That's because I've already prepped her hair with our IME thermal image. So that's already the product that's in there. So the reason I'm putting the heat on without any product is it's already been prepped with thermal image from IME, our styling range from Wella. Your hair is soft, it's really soft now. Okay, so last piece here. Are there any other questions at all from any of the audience?
You don't have a lot of questions, but you have a lot of hellos and a lot of compliments on the beautiful color.
Oh, that's good.
You do have a question here. They're asking if you applied the color on wet hair or on dry hair when you applied Stefanie's tone color.
That is a fantastic question. You know, that is a great question. I actually applied it on damp hair, slightly damp. Reason is porosity. Porosity is the one thing in colour that you have to really pay attention to. So Stefanie's hair, her mid-lengths and ends are slightly porous. They're quite porous through there. So I made sure that I sprayed the hair down with water before I did the colour. So in Stefanie's case, yes. A lot of cases I go straight in with dry. To be honest, and I'm just speaking truthfully, I find when I use Pastel Toner Developer, which really helps the colour not to grab too much, that it has a nice even, it takes very evenly anyway. But if the hair is drier, definitely water. Water's the best friend you can have in colour, making sure that hair doesn't grab. No, great question. I love that, and shame on me for not mentioning. So that person's on the ball. So I'm just going to finish off. She does wear it. She likes to wear it messy. So I'm just going to put some product through her hair. Just spray it up a little bit. Give it some texture.
Sonia, you have one more question.
Oh, lovely. I love the question.
How long did you allow the toner to process for?
I left the toner for a full 30 minutes. I tell you why. That's a really good question. When hair like Stefanie's is being coloured, oxidization of colour can make it look like it's really taken very quickly. So it can look quite pink or quite violet, but 90% of times when you rinse off the colour can go with it. So I always like to let it go more than, because worst case scenario that you rinse it out too soon and it's not taken enough. But yes, I very rarely on hair that's been lightened, the ends are very good condition. Usually the ends are a little bit compromised, so they're more porous, which does, the colour comes out a lot quicker always, yeah. So I like to leave it full time. But something I do want to add to that question is, we don't have, in my salon in Santa Monica, we don't have mirrors where the clients are having their hair coloured, because when the clients tend to look at the colour oxidizing, they start to, oh, is it going purple? Is it going this? So we're lucky, but because if they could see what it oxidizes like, when it washes off, it's completely different. And we all know that with any brand of colour for colourists. So that's something you have to be careful of. Yeah.
Sonia, you're getting a lot of compliments on this blonde, and some folks are wondering what you pre-lightened her hair with.
What I pre-lightened Stefanie's hair with. In fact, if these people are still there, I'd like to bring back the before slide, because she's a natural level 7. So if it's not, is it too late to bring? There we are. So this was Stefanie's hair with her regrowth just pre-lightened just before. So you can see it's a little bit on the gold side, but it is about a level 10. So it's a pale yellow. We did a new growth. We went in with our Blondor cream. And Blondor cream has chamomile in, and it's excellent for on the scalp. You can still also use Blondor powder, but I use 20 volume. I always use 20 volume with on scalp lightening. I don't feel that it's good to use anything more. And I know that Stefanie does have her hair done a lot, so 20 volume and Blondor. And it's mixed to 1 to 1.5 ratio. That is 1 part Blondor to 1.5 parts of developer and 20 volume developer. but I love the Blondor cream, and we do a lot of lightening. I think of all of the services in a salon to do, the lightening, bleaching or pre-lightening is probably the toughest. And you can see in the pictures, Stefanie's hair is, you can see on the video, that Stefanie's hair is super, super shiny. It's great. Got great shine. It feels good. It's strong. It's tough, even though her hair is very, very fine. But she has her hair coloured a lot. She has it coloured an awful lot. She really does. You're always trying different colours, aren't you?
Probably monthly.
Monthly. So she's always changing her hair colour monthly. So that's important to know the history, because that's why no more than 20, no overlapping, and products that are really, really good. And that's why, for me, the touch of cool colours that I use today in Stefanie's hair, I just used 6 volume, which is the pastel toner developer that we use, and 2 parts, because I want it like icy blonde. You know, when you see that very cool icy tone, I want it to be candy pink. That's not what I was after. She's had that in the summer. This winter and this fall, we wanted to be more in the cool tones. And I'm very pleased with the results. Very subtle, but subtle's not a negative. I have people in the salon that say, oh, how long are those colours, those pastel colours going to last? The benefit is they don't last a long time, so you can have the versatility to change it. You know, always turn a negative. Sometimes the clients can come with a negative, but turn it into a positive, because the benefit is, Stefanie, you could be more on the grayer violet tones next time and not more of the pinky tones. So she can change it and not compromise her hair at the same time. Excellent. Let's look at that. Gorgeous. So I think we're going to look at both of our... Are there any more questions before I bring my lovely Cheryl back? Okay, like last bit of spray there. My love of hairspray, you can see that. So I'm going to bring back Cheryl, and we'll see our 2 gorgeous clients. Lovely. Come back. Hello. How are you doing? So, let's try and get... I know. Well, you're both beautiful. You're both gorgeous. So, my 2 lovely clients. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself sharing with you on Cosmoprof Facebook Live. If there are any questions, we'll answer them. Touch of Cool, Koleston Perfect, Wella, new colours, 2 fabulous new clients I've got. I think I've gained 2 clients myself in the salon, but we've had a wonderful time. Thank you all for being here. See you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.